We did our presentation on mammals by Julie Dilipondo, Kayla Dilly, and Madison Johnson. Characteristics of mammals include they have fur or hair, usually to protect them from the outside elements. They are warm-blooded. They have specialized teeth for their diet. Mammals' diets are usually drastically different from each other's. They are fed milk at birth. They have sweat glands and 3 middle ear bones. They also possess a neocortex, which is a section of the brain that's in charge of higher order brain functioning, which is what makes them smarter than usual animals. Monotremes, otherwise known as egg-laying mammals, are one of the subgroups of mammals. There are 3. Monotremes being the first, they only have 5 species. The duck-billed platypus being the first on the top right, and then 4 species of echidna, also known as spiny anteaters. The 4 species consist of the western long-beaked, Sir David's long-beaked, eastern long-beaked, and the short-beaked. These are different from other subgroups of mammals because they lay eggs instead of give live birth. These 5 species of mammals are only found in Australia and New Guinea. The second subgroup of mammals would be marsupials, also known as pouched animals. Some examples of marsupials would be possums, koalas, wombats, sugar gliders, and Tasmanian devils. Some characteristics of marsupials include having a small burst size, a short gestation period, there's a presence of pouches or protective skin folds, usually to keep their use safe and out of the elements. They have a unique reproductive anatomy, and they lack the corpus callosum in their brains. The third subgroup of mammals is eurythians, also known as placental mammals. Called this because they are developed in a placenta when they are in the womb. They provide milk through their mammary glands and also are vertebrates, meaning that they have a spine. Some examples of placental mammals are dogs, cats, horses, tigers, guinea pigs, and the majority of the mammals that we know today. Mammals are warm-blooded and also have fur or hair. There are about 5,000 to 6,000 mammal species, and 1/3 are extinct or going extinct.
Ecological significance. Mammals have important roles in the food webs of practically every ecosystem. Mammals are important members of the food chains and food webs, as grazers and as predators. Mammals can feed at various levels of food chains, as herbivores, insectivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Mammals can be land animals like tigers, rabbits, and bats. Some ocean animals are also mammals like the humpback whale, leopard seals, and dolphins, seen here. Mammals also interact with other organisms through symbiotic relationships, which is a relationship between 2 organisms that may or may not benefit. An example of this would be when nectar-feeding bats receive a meal from each flower. Thus, in return, the bats pollinate the flowers. Symbiotic relationships are very important to the environment. Evolutionary history of mammals. Mammals evolved during the Jurassic period from members of the order Theraspida, which was about 252 million to 201 million years ago. The Megazostodon was one of the earliest mammals, pictured here. Mammal population began to increase after the extinction of dinosaurs. Mammals are also vertebrate, meaning they have a backbone and a spinal column. Mammals past and present. Florida black wolves went extinct in the year 1930. the desert rat kangaroo went extinct in 1935. Two mammals we still have today are the white-tailed deer and leopard seal seen here. But we have many more. Fossil evidence. Scientists have discovered using fossil evidence that the first mammals probably walked among some dinosaurs, like the T-Rex.
Topics of interest. There are so many mammals in the world. There are about more than 5,400 mammal species that we know of. And one really interesting one that I really wanted to talk about is red pandas. They're actually the first pandas to be discovered, and their diet is 98% bamboo, even though they're actually carnivores. So they do actually have to hunt a lot for food because they don't get a lot of nutrients from bamboo. Markhors can grow to be about 200 pounds and even more. They're massive, and female horns are not as dramatic as the male horns. And male and female markhors actually have a lot of differences, so you can definitely tell the difference if you see one. Black-footed ferret is one of the endangered species, and it is roughly the size of a mink, and it is also a part of the weasel family. An Amazon river dolphin is also known as the Amazon pink river dolphin because they're actually pink. They weren't born pink, but they grow to be pink. The newest mammal species discovered is the white-cheeked macaque. And Java rhinos are the most endangered species. There are only about 75 left, and this is because of poaching. Mammal medicinal uses. There are about 15 animals were known to be used for just a few ethno-medicinal purposes like tuberculosis, paralysis, and jaundice. There are mammals endangered. There are about 155 mammalian species used for medicinal uses that were endangered, and there were 565 species that have been used in traditional use all around the globe. There are about 565 species that we have used for medicinal purposes. I think there's a lot of benefits using mammals for medicine, but there's also a lot of harm if we do use those endangered species because they're very scarce, and so it hurts our ecosystem a lot. Significance to humans. Animals provide dairy products. We eat, drink, and milk every day. They provide us with meat, like cows, a lot of cow meat, hamburgers. They're super important for our ecosystem, pollination and the regulation of insect population. And our own pets are mammals. Whether you have a dog or a cat or a bird, they're all mammals, so they're super important for us. And they're also used for transportation. Thinking of horses back in the day, where a lot of people used horses for transportation. And it's also super important for our culture. Each culture has a mammal that they use in their own different way, whether it be for transportation or their fur or just as food. Each culture uses them to their own beneficial purpose.